Hey guys, and welcome back to Evil Fortress Part 8, Mooncatcher. Now, are we catching moons this episode? Well, yes, indeed we are, and we'll get onto the moon catching a little bit later, but it's time to take a look at the start of the episode at what we've done so far. We've got the tallest spire with our hell portal at the top, with a skull-shaped top. We've also got the fortifications around the edge of the castle that are coming along quite well, including this sea wall you see here, a wall against naval attacks, emblazoned with menacing skulls to ward off the forces of light that might attack our castle. We've also got our demon that watches the front gate. Something we're going to come back to is his arms and his look. We want him a bit more beefy than he is at the moment. We've got our archways and our walkways that are coming along, and the tops of our towers are being completed slowly as well. But we've got these two towers here that still need to be finished before we can move forward with detail. And one of the towers lines up directly with the moon, so I had the idea to create a kind of moon catcher. So here we go. The first thing I wanted was to create a stairway between the two towers. I wanted there to be a weird kind of stairway that lets you come from the left tower to the right tower here. Not a walkway, but a stairway, a kind of suspended stair that's open to the elements and open to the air. So I built up diagonally from the smaller tower, and then began to build up on the bigger tower to get to the level which we'd planned out with the stairs. Now once I got here, however, I realised that was way too steep a staircase, and I wanted to make it a lot shallower, so I deleted it all, made it shallower, and then in turn matched the height of the smaller tower to come up to the bottom of those stairs you see there. Now I measured the staircase, but I decided that the middle of the stairs were quite off-center with the tower, so I used World Edit to cut and paste the tower one block closer to the lava. And then it was time to come back to the stairs themselves. Now I wanted the stairs to get fatter as they got to the larger tower, to kind of cone out. So I made them fat at the top and thinner at the bottom. And once I'd done that, I started to play around with the sides of the staircase to add some protective walls so people that were travelling the staircase didn't fall to their doom. This took me a while though. I had a few designs, a few ideas for how I wanted to do the walls of the stairs, but nothing quite looked right. Everything looked out of place, bulky, and an awkward hassle to climb. So I came back several times until I had a design I was happy with. And then repeated that design on the other side. With the walls in place, I put in some lighter stone brick stairs, but then came back and decided that I wanted to use half blocks instead to make the climb even shallower still. Then I trimmed off the wall, added some fences, and began to create what would be a couple of archways leading up to the Mooncatcher. Now these were going to be two spherical kind of shapes that we'd trap the moon inside, and I wanted them to increase in size as the stairwell increased. They're kind of egg-shaped with spiky sides. I used light stone brick and light stone brick steps to get the effect of the diagonals and the spikes. And then with those archways complete and the stairs pretty much done, I came to the top of the tower and began to increase it in size. This is where the Mooncatcher is going to be stationed. The Mooncatcher is going to be this device that will catch the essence of the moon. So I built up slightly the sides of the tower, the walls, to kind of come out in a more square shape, but still retain the rough shape of the cylindrical tower. Now getting the symmetry on this was a real pain. For some reason I kept going back and forward across the walls, getting things right and wrong, replacing a block here and there, and it never being quite right. But eventually I did nail it, and capped off the top of the tower with crenellations and a mahogany floor. Again, tinkering around with the crenellations because the symmetry was just a little bit off. It's one of those things, if you make one small mistake at the base of a building, it can often have repercussions, and when you build up from that mistake, you can create a whole can of worms that are just a real nightmare to sort out and fix. And once the mahogany floor was in place, I began to think about the plinth that we were going to build on top of here to hold the moon catcher. That square there represents the very centre of this tower, and if you take a look, this is how the crenellations are supported around the outside. Now the idea was to come up with a smaller stubby tower with archways around the outside and hold the moon catcher on top of that. So I put in place these blocks that will be the pillars to hold up the mini tower, but would also give me a walkway inside the arches that was 3 blocks wide. Once they were in place, I teed them off, added the upside down steps, and started to work on the middle bit, rebuilding there because I'd made a slight mistake. Adding a mahogany floor above the arches, and then fleshing them out with a little bit of detail. Adding torches so we can see what we're doing, and then I came forward slightly at the front, expanded the wood, and tinkered a bit more with the decoration of the archways there. Then I came around the front, or rather the back, where you approach the moon catcher. I placed down dark stone brick and then light stone brick steps for the stairways that rise towards the platform, finished up the floor, and then began to build the plinth where we would host our moon catcher. Now again, the moon catcher is a pure sphere. If we're catching the moon is spherical, so we need a circle to catch it with. So I used the old Minecraft circles template that you can find in Google Images if you search for Minecraft circles. Tinkered for a while with what kind of blocks I wanted to use for the circle, before settling on light stone brick. I then smoothed the edges with some steps, built the wooden framework to hold the circle, messed around a bit with iron bars before adding these light stone brick step spikes to hold the moon in place. Oh, and if I'm quick, I'll be able to catch the moon just as it hits position. And with the moon catcher built, it was time to come around the sides and build the braziers. So I used these light stone brick arms, netherrack, and good old flint and tinder to create this brazier effect on the side. And then I repeated that on the other side. Netherrack and all. And then once those wooden fence posts were in place, our moon catcher was complete. And as we spin around the castle, you can see it there, that huge circle, a target almost, a reticule, pointing towards the moon. Any evil summoners that wish to bring upon the power of the moon to aid in their magics can just climb the steps of this colossal tower and channel the energies into whatever spell they're cooking. And that's the end of this episode. Next episode, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Probably finish off the tower that leads up to the Mooncatcher, and the last tower as well, the tower to the left. It's just gone out of view. And as the moon comes into sight, that's where our episode draws to an end. So I've been Sjin. Hit like and favourites if you want to support the series. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.